Alright, to start off, we're going to be talking about Forza's car problems. And probably going to be opinionated here. I mean, some are, there is facts in this, but it's really an opinion that they are problems. To start off, I think in Forza, there's just too many slow cars, like street cars. Like this VW bus I'm driving right now. Is it really a necessity for Forza MotorSport to have this? I mean, I don't know the last time I've gotten in an E-Class car and drove. Like, it just doesn't go through my head as an idea I wish to do. Not until now, to demonstrate, but I just don't get why they have these cars. I don't know. Do I think we need these cars? Absolutely not. Do I think they can keep some of the street cars? Oh yeah, there's some really good street cars, like the Ultima, the Radical, the F50, the F40. There's tons of street cars that they can keep because they're good cars and they're actually drivable, unlike this bus. This bus is terrible stock, and it's terrible when you upgrade it. It's just not a good vehicle. Now, the reason I hate having all these slow cars is not because I hate drag racers or drifters. It's because we're missing out on race cars because they're wasting their time on these cars when they could be getting licensing and stuff for actual race cars. Like, I don't quite understand the reasoning behind putting a VW bus instead of, I don't know, another F1 car, I guess. I don't know. I mean, they don't have any of the WEC series in here. They barely got Indy, and they only have, like, what, 4 Indy cars? So, I think having all these slow cars is inhibiting them from having race cars and stuff. I'd rather have race cars than these. Like, that's just me. I'm a driver, like, I'm a circuit racer. I don't know why we should have these cars other than people that like drifting and drag racing, but I think they should. I think drag racing and drifting shouldn't be on top of the core part of the game. That's just very stupid to me. The next thing is, I feel like the cars in this game don't have as much customization as, like, say, in Motorsport 4 or earlier. Those cars had body kits and stuff that you could stick on the cars, and now there's pretty much nothing. Horizon 4 does have body kits and stuff, but Motorsport seemed to just lose all that stuff. I don't know why. I really don't. And also, like, to add to that, customization also with tires. Like, they have tire selection in compounds and stuff. Like, that's great, but when I get in the F1 car, there's only one tire. It's the same as, like, the 919, the Porsche. It's the same story, just one tire select. Why do we not have in the race, like, soft, medium, hard tires? Something simple. I don't quite understand that, and I think it's making the car worse. Just the driving experience in these cars are being degraded by this. Now, if they did have slower cars in the game, like this bus I'm driving, in future Forzas or whatever, I really wish they could turn the car into a race car. Like, I wish we had body kits that could change the car into a full-blown race car that I could actually race around a track. I'm not looking for insane speed here. I'm like what, 450 horse, maybe 1.5 G-force at 120 miles an hour, like 1.6 area. Like, that's enough to have some fun with. And I would actually have a reason to have these Like, I would actually want the cars in the game at that point. It'd be so cool driving a race car VW bus. That'd be awesome, but you can't do that in this game. If you did, I wouldn't even be talking about having slow cars in Forza. It'd be awesome. But they don't have that. And, like, to add to that, to do this, they could add more wing selection for, you know, more upgradability to make it a race car, and we could have the diffuser or under tray implementation into the cars so it can turn into a race car. Stuff like that. Make the front splitter bigger, and, you know, like time attack cars with those crazy splitters and stuff. I want to be able to do that to these street cars. And this car that I'm driving now it's not bad at this speed, but when you upgrade it, the race suspension is just not good enough. And no, you can't tune out its problems. It's just too top heavy. I can't lower the car to the ground enough to make it raceable. That's just not right. The upgradability for these cars is just non-existent. Yeah, you can upgrade it to ridiculousness, but the car's undrivable. The suspension's a necessity when you're pushing that much power and grip. Like, look at how much it's leaning right now. That's fine for this speed, but when I upgraded it, it didn't really help it much, because it still heaves over its axle. It's not great. The next thing, Forzathon. Forgetting cars in the beginning of this game was just awful. It was the worst thing I've ever done in Forza. I hated Forzathon. Absolutely hated it. They kind of faded it out of the game, but it's still there. It's like there, but no one actually cares about it, because most of the cars that were in Forzathon, everyone got them anyway. It was really stupid of them with Forzathon. I don't know why they did that. Forzathon's been around for a while, but I feel like Forzathon has just never been what I wanted. I don't know how many people feel the same way. If they're gonna use Forzathon, they need to at least make the Forzathon come out every week, but it will give you a car for real challenges, not these stupid, oh, get in this car and race. I mean, like, race this guy on Unbeatable and come in this place. You know, stuff like that. Like, real challenges. I want these challenges, these Forzathons, to last forever. I want there to just be a list that comes out. Like, I want there to be a list where, as a Forzathon comes out in that week, it will stamp as that week, and, like, say week 32, you know, whatever, and you can always go back to it to complete it. And there's, like, a giant list that you have to go through, and, like, people, I think, would love this, because you get cars from it, but you can do it at any time. It stops being a chore and starts being some challenges for some cars. I don't know why Forzathon has this time restraint on it. I really don't. I think it's to get players to play the game, but it really doesn't. In Horizon 4, it actually keeps me from playing the game. I don't want to log in and get mad that I didn't get this car because I wasn't there that week. It's so stupid. I don't know why they did this. I don't know why they do it either. I hope Forza 8 gets this right. I personally, like I said, I want my way, with the Forzathon being forever. But, like, I want Forzathon when it's, like, say it's live, I guess, like, it's on that week, you get a better reward, I guess. Like, you get money on the side. But if it's not in that week, you just get a car or stuff like that. I do want there to be a reason to come that week, but I don't want you to be penalized heavily for not being there to go get it. It's very stupid of them to do that in my eye. the next thing, we're going to briefly talk about Horizon 4 here. So, you know, the Forzathon weekly in Horizon 4, like I said, I think before, it feels like a chore to me. I think Playground Games needs to fix it, and Turn 10 should definitely not go in that direction. If they do, I'll be very sad if they do this weekly stuff. I mean, Forzathon is weekly, but the way Horizon 4 implemented it is just not right. I like that they have this menu and all that. That's great, and it's on seasons and stuff, but I wish it would save, just like I was talking about with Motorsport. Same thing, two different games. As I was saying before with body kits, I wish they would have the body kits in the game, but I wish the body kits were a little bit better than you may expect. I wish it could turn the car into a race car, like, you know, more downforce, stuff like that, like huge wings and stuff. And you could turn it into a circuit car, a drag car, or a drift car. So drag would have more power, better grip for the tires, so drag slicks. Like actual drag slicks, not the tires that are in this game. The tires in this game are pretty pathetic. Yeah, it inhibits these cars from becoming better. But yeah, I like the body kit idea. Very much so, because it'll allow them to put these slower cars in as they were before, and I can have fun as a circuit racer. I do drag racing and drifting sometimes, but primarily I drive tracks. Now, if they have less cars in the game, I think they might have to if they want to do what I'm saying here. I think they need higher detail in every car, like ERS deployment in the F1 car, or DRS in the F1 car, and like tire selection like I was talking about before with soft, medium, hards. Another example, the Porsche 919, it's hybrid, but you can't deploy ERS. There's no option. There's no nothing. There's no battery level. There's no way to even think of hybrid. For all most people know, it's not a hybrid. You only know because you've seen it in real life or you know a lot of detail about the car. I think they should implement this, and if it means less cars in the game, I'm willing to do that. I'm willing to accept less cars for more detailed vehicles that I'll enjoy more. I'd rather have less cars and drive cars that are really nice to drive in the game. We don't play Motorsport for the same reason people play Horizon 4. I like that they have these fun, weird cars and all, but I think they should keep that to Horizon 4. I mean, all this stuff is great and all, but most of it's pretty useless. I don't see anyone using a Dodge Ram or, you know, Rammer or whatever it is on a race for real, like actually racing it. But they added it anyway. I don't know why. I think in Horizon 4 it's fine to not have this detail, but in Motorsport 7 and Motorsport 8 for the future, you do need detail in the cars. This car I'm driving right now, there's no ERS at all. And in real life there is. And I don't know if the driver, I do believe the driver does have control over it, but it's very limited. Most of the time they just kind of just let it in autopilot, but I wish we had the controllability over it anyway. Back to the F1 cars, you know, features and stuff. It doesn't have DRS, which kind of is stupid because visually they added DRS, but they didn't actually add it. Personally, it ruins part of the fun. I really wish they had DRS, especially considering the drag in this game is awful, meaning like the tow you get behind someone is pretty much non-existent. This game has one of the worst tows ever, or slipstream. It's just bad. And plus, not having DRS, it makes it worse. As I went around before, in Horizon 4, this is not an issue. Realism, like this much detail in the cars, is not needed. Mostly, it's just have a lot of cars, and it's pretty fun. That's why I like Horizon 4. It's just to have a bit of fun with your friends and mess around and not take anything at all seriously. That's what the fun is in Horizon 4. But the fun comes in Motorsport from having close battles and fighting over position and having strategy, but in this game it's just not quite there like it used to be. Back to race cars and stuff, like we were talking about just now. Some of the race cars in this game, like, not WEC series, I'd say like the, what is it, GT3 class, I guess, maybe? Some of the cars just have awful drivability. Like, some have just undesirable amounts of understeer and oversteer, which is fine, but you literally can't tune it out no matter what. There is nothing you can do. That's just how the car drives. And when you tune a car, it should be able to at least negate it or get rid of it. Like, you know, it should be able to help it somewhat, but you have very little effect over it. And if you do have an effect, it usually makes the car slower, so you just leave it the way it is. Like the Ferrari, I think, it has so much oversteer, but you just got to get used to it, because if you try tuning it out with, like, pulling a lot of negative toe in the rear and stuff, but it just makes the car really bad. It doesn't help anything. So, yeah, they need to fix that. Well, finally, we come to the ending. To conclude, Forza 7 is overcrowded with cars that don't fit into the word motorsport. They're too slow, they're not race cars. They need to just figure it out. Make them have real raceability with making them track cars, drag cars, or drift cars, or just get rid of them and focus on the real cars that matter. Forza needs to work on its core, its word in its name, motorsport. They really need to get this right for Forza 8, or I think they're going to lose a lot of fans. I hope this doesn't happen, because it would be very sad to see Forza come onto a decline. And as always, guys, thanks for watching.